press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello dear students, I would like to start today's session by quoting few interesting facts about human brain. Our brain is a miracle. Human brain contains 86 billion neurons. Human brain contains 86 billion neurons. It was once told that human brain has around 100 billion neurons, but recent study says that on an average 86 billion neurons are present in human brain. And each neuron has got thousands of connections. Each neuron has got on an average 7,000 synaptic connections. The most interesting thing is the memory storage capacity of brain. Our brain can store about 2.5 petabytes of memory. You know what this petabyte is? If I have to put it in a GB, it's about 2.5 million GB. You are aware of the term GB. So it's not in terms of hundreds or thousands, but 2.5 million GB is the storage capacity of our brain. But you know what? Most of the human beings use less than 10% of our brain. We don't even use 10% of our brain. With less than 10% of our brain utility, we claim ourselves to be very intelligent and brilliant. And we do so many things in the world. Imagine what if we can enhance this percentage. If we can use 10% of our brain, 12%, 15% of our brain, we would almost be called as superhumans. We can innovate, invent so many things. We can create miracles in the world. With reliable techniques, this enhancement is possible. With this, let's begin today's session. In the last class, we were discussing about control and coordination in plants. Plants do not have nervous system, they don't even have muscles, but we find response to stimulus in plants as well. This response to stimulus in plants is of two types. One is growth dependent, the other is growth independent. Growth independent is immediate response to stimulus, like what we see in case of Mimosa pudica or touch me not plant. In detail, we understood how this is possible, how it senses and what are the things, what changes plant makes in itself to cause this response, to show this response. Unlike animals which have specialized proteins in muscle cells, plants do not have any specialized proteins, but they show response, they show changes in their cells by changing the amount of water in them. So this is what we have studied in the last class, and in today's session, we will discuss about the other part of it, that is growth dependent movement in plants. So growth dependent movement is something related to growth. It is very much directional. Growth related movement or movement due to growth in plants. Movement due to growth in plants. Most of the plants exhibit this. Most of the plants, imagine a seed germinating and it grows into a plant. In the course of this growth or development, it appears as if it is making some movements. It is very much directional in nature. Plants respond to environmental triggers such as sunlight, temperature, water, chemicals, touch, etc. So these environmental triggers act as stimuli and plants respond to these stimuli in the course of their growth. In fact, plants grow responding to these stimuli. Either plants respond positively to the stimuli or negatively to the stimuli. Plants either respond positive to the stimuli such as sunlight, shoots grow towards sunlight, whereas roots grow away from the sunlight. The response could be either towards the stimuli or away from the stimuli. So in this course, in this process of growth, it appears as if they are making some movements. The shoot is moving, the root is also moving. One is towards the response, one is towards the stimuli, the other is away from the stimuli. So these are the environmental triggers which act as stimuli, and on receiving stimuli, plants exhibit changes, plants show movements, plants respond. So this is very much directional in nature. Let's understand what this movement due to growth in plants is. We are here to learn a new term called as tropism. So tropism is Tropism, tropism. Let's define what this tropism is. The movement of plants in response to various stimuli, is referred to as tropism. The movement of different parts of plants in response to various stimuli is referred to as tropism. So we have got several other terms to learn with respect to this tropism. There are various types of tropism seen in plants. We'll understand one by one. So the term tropism is clear to you. The movement of plant in response to various stimuli. There are various kinds of stimuli. So the movement of plants in response to various stimuli is what is referred to as tropism. And we will study various types of tropism. We will understand the terms first. The most common and important types of tropism are, first is phototropism, types of tropism, and the first among them is phototropism. How could you define this? Photo is light, tropism is movement. So movement of plants in response to a light is referred to as phototropism, or we can also write this as response towards light or response due to light. Response towards light, or it can be also away from light. So instead of quoting the term towards, I would like to quote the term response due to light is phototropism. And we have several other types of tropisms too. The next important is geotropism, followed by hydrotropism, the next type of tropism is thermotropism, thigmotropism, and chemotropism. The terms are self-descriptive. Geo refers to gravity or earth. So response due to gravity or earth is referred to as geotropism. Hydro refers to water. So response due to water, response towards water is referred to as hydrotropism. Thermo refers to heat or temperature. Response due to heat or temperature is referred to as thermotropism. Thigmo refers to touch. Response due to touch. Touch is the stimuli here, is referred to as thigmotropism. Chemo refers to chemicals. Response due to chemicals or response towards chemicals is referred to as chemotropism. These are the various kinds of tropism we usually see in plants. Phototropism, geotropism, hydrotropism, thermotropism, thigmotropism, and chemotropism. So let's understand one by one with the help of examples. We'll try to quote examples for each of them. Here is a diagram. I think it's better you follow activity 7.2 for this. We'll go through the activity 7.2 and later we'll understand what this diagram is speaking about. Activity 7.2, I'll read it out. You follow this. Fill a conical flask with water. Cover the neck of the flask with a wire mesh. Keep 2 or 3 freshly germinated bean seeds on the wire mesh. Take a cardboard box which is open from one side. One side is open, the other side is closed. Is this clear to you? Hope you are following this. Keep the flask in a box in such a manner that the open side of the box faces light coming from the window. The open box receives the sunlight. We should keep in such a manner that open face or the open side of it receives sunlight. You can observe figure 7.5 here. After 2 or 3 days, you will notice that the shoots bend towards light and the roots away from light. So let's understand this and let's try to answer the questions given there. So this is an arrangement wherein few germinating seeds are placed here in a conical flask filled with water. After 2-3 days or 4 days, we will observe that the shoot of this plant bends towards sunlight, whereas the roots bending away from sunlight. So the arrangement is in such a manner that the one end of it is closed and the other end receives the sunlight. From the other end, only from the other end, the sunlight is received. The plant receives the sunlight for around 2 to 3 hours a day. When the sun comes here, goes like this, it won't receive any sunlight. After a few days, what we will observe is the plant won't grow straight, but instead of that, it tends to bend towards the sunlight. What tends to bend towards sunlight? The shoot part of it. This is the shoot part of the plant. It bends towards the sunlight. Sunlight is coming from this direction. Although the sun passes through this, but it won't receive sunlight when the sun comes here and here. It receives sunlight only when it is here. Therefore, the shoot bends towards the area from which it is receiving sunlight. Whereas, the interesting thing is, these are the roots. The roots do not bend towards sunlight. They are bending away from sunlight. You can observe the diagram in the textbook, or you can also observe this, the one written on the board. The roots are bending away from the sunlight like this in this direction, whereas the shoot system is bending towards the sunlight. What could you conclude from this? We can simply say that the shoot of a plant shows phototropism. What kind of phototropism? It shows positive phototropism. The shoots exhibit positively phototropic. They are moving towards sunlight. Positive phototropism is exhibited by the shoot of a plant. What about the roots then? Roots do not like sunlight. Let's understand, for our understanding, let's think that shoots love sunlight, shoots love light, whereas roots do not like light. They love darkness. So what happens is, shoots do not bend towards sunlight, but they are bending away from the sunlight. What can you say this? What can you say to this? The roots here are negatively phototropic. Positively phototropic. These are roots are negatively phototropic. Positive phototropism or positively phototropic. Shoots exhibit positive phototropism, whereas roots exhibit negative phototropism. Or you can say shoots are positively phototropic, roots are negatively phototropic. So this is an example which indicates, which exhibits phototropism. Few questions have been asked. in this activity. Let's go through them. Now, turn the flask so that the shoots are away from light and roots towards light. So we should turn in such a manner that shoots are away from light in the same diagram, in the same activity, whereas roots are towards light. What do you think? What happens now? Leave it undisturbed in this condition for few days. Have the old parts of the shoot or under root tends to grow. With the time, is it not? They tend to grow. Have the old parts of the shoot and the root change direction? Do you observe any changes in the direction of old parts, not the newly grown ones? The old parts of the shoot and the root do not show much difference because they have already grown, and we don't find much difference in the direction of them. Not much changes shall be observed. But are there differences in the direction of the new growth? Yes, definitely. So the newly grown parts of shoot and root will exhibit change in the direction, because when the situation is changed, when it is reversed, the shoots do not grow towards light. They again tend to grow away from light, whereas the shoot system, it loves light, it tends to bend or grow towards the light. So the shoots are positively phototropic, the roots are negatively phototropic. Have the old parts of the shoot and root changed? No, not much. Are there differences in the direction of the new growth? Yes, there is a difference. So what can we conclude from this activity? We can conclude that shoots are positively phototropic, roots are negatively phototropic. So this is what we see in most of the plants. Next, we'll move on to geotropism. In the same example, we can understand geotropism as well. So instead of this conical flask, let's understand. Let's say the roots are deep inside the soil. The roots are deep inside the soil, or a pot. You can consider a pot here as well. So geotropism is gravity or earth. Roots have a tendency to get deep inside the earth, whereas shoots have tendency to grow against gravity. It seems to be a miracle, right? Roots have tendency to grow deep inside the soil, that is towards earth, towards gravity, whereas the shoot, it grows against gravity, away from the gravity. So what do you claim? What conclusion can be made out of this? Here the shoots are, the roots, these are the roots. The roots are positively geotrophic. The roots are positively geotrophic, whereas the shoots are negatively geotrophic. Is it not? These are negatively geotrophic. Or shoots exhibit negative geotropism, roots exhibit positive geotropism. Geo refers to earth or gravity. Hope this is clear to you. Next, hydrotropism, response due to water. See, in all these cases we can claim two terms again: positively phototropic, negatively phototropic, or positively geotropic, negatively geotropic. So here the roots exhibit positive geotropism, that is towards the stimulus, whereas the shoots exhibit negative geotropism, that is against the stimulus. So let's understand hydrotropism. Hydro refers to water. Which part of the plant requires water or goes in search of water? The roots go in search of water. So roots, as they get deeper inside the soil, they spread, they grow, or they move towards the water, they go in search of water. So this can be understood when we observe when a plant is sown in a dry region, and nearby if there is some source of water, the roots move towards the moist soil. If it is sown in a dry soil and if there is some moist content nearby, the roots of a plant move towards the moist area or towards the water source. So the roots here are positively hydrotropic and shoots are negatively hydrotropic. We can say like this, or we can simply say the roots are the one which go in search of water, so roots are positively hydrotropic. So this is what we can conclude by this. But this hydrotropism is not usually seen much clearly. It requires roots to bend from drier to wetter soil zone. It's difficult to observe in underground roots because geotropism is influential. But we can find hydrotropism in plants, that is roots moving towards the source of water, towards moist area. From a drier region to the moist area, the roots tend to move, roots tend to grow. So this is what is hydrotropism, and let's understand thermotropism is something related to heat, plants responding due to heat, and we have examples for thigmo and chemotropism too. Thigmotropism, let me quote an example here. You must have seen creepers, the tendrils. Balli ಕೇಳಿರ್ಬೋದು ನೀವು, ಅವರೆ ಬಳ್ಳಿ ಅಥವಾ ಪೀ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿರ್ತೀರಿ ನೀವು. ಸೊ ಬಳ್ಳಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಟೆಂಡ್ರಿಲ್ಸ್, ದ ಟಿಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಇದು ಈ ಬಳ್ಳಿಯ ಟಿಪ್ ಅಥವಾ ಬಳ್ಳಿಯ ಕುಡಿ ಅಂತ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಒಂದು ಏನಾದರೂ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಇಟ್ ಕಾಯಿಲ್ಸ್ ಅರೌಂಡ್ ದಿ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್. ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ನೀವು? ಸುರುಳಿ ಸುತ್ಕೋತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಮರ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸುತ್ತ ಹಾಕ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ಇದ್ದರೆ, ಒಂದು ಕೋಲ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ, ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಿಕ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ಸಾಕು, ಆ ಸಪೋರ್ಟಿಗೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಸುತ್ತ ಹಾಕೋತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸರ್ಕಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕಾಯಿಲ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಥಿಗ್ಮೋಟ್ರೋಪಿಸಮ್. Thigmotropism is response due to touch. Plants are touch sensitive, especially these creepers. Tendrils ಏನಿದೆ, they are very much touch sensitive. The tendrils, they keep on growing. So when the tendrils keep growing and when it comes in contact with the support, so ಇದೊಂದು creeper ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Here is a support, ಒಂದು ಕೋಲ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಹಿಂಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, tendrils tend to coil around it. So this is thigmotropism. It has come in contact with the support, ಅದು ಟಚ್ ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ what happens is tendrils tend to coil around it. Why does it coil is, the part of the tendril that comes in contact with the support, the part of the tendril, the part of it that comes in contact with the support, ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. But the part that is away from the contact, the free end of it will have a greater growth ಅಥವಾ faster growth ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So as a result, it tends to coil around the support. ಫೋಟೋಟ್ರೋಪಿಸಮ್ ಮತ್ತು ಥಿಗ್ಮೋಟ್ರೋಪಿಸಮ್ಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂತೆ ಈ ಥರ ಯಾಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಯಿಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಈವನ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಶೂಟು ಇಟ್ ಬೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಟುವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಸನ್ಲೈಟ್. ಫೋಟೋಟ್ರೋಪಿಸಮಲ್ಲಿ ವಿ ಸಿ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ದ ಶೂಟ್ ಬೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಟುವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಸನ್ಲೈಟ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅನದರ್ ರೀಸನ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ಅಂದರೆ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ದ ರೋಲ್ ಆರ್ ಸಿಗ್ನಿಫಿಕೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿನ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್. Another hormone, auxin is a plant hormone which is responsible for this. We will understand it later. So for now, we will understand this is thigmotropism, response to touch. The tendril coiling around a support is thigmotropism. So it shows some response towards touch. So next is chemotropism. Chemo refers to chemicals. So chemicals act as stimuli in this case. The best example for this is growth of pollen tubes towards ovules. Growth of pollen tubes towards ovules. So this is an example for chemotropism, response towards or response due to chemicals. Growth of pollen tubes towards ovules. So this is what is control and coordination in case of plants. We understood immediate response to stimuli in case of touch me not plant, and so far we have learned what those growth dependent movements are. Movements related to growth, we have come across so many terms and examples for most of this. So even in human beings, the growth is carefully controlled. There is a directional growth. Growth is very much directional. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಾವು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನಲ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ನ ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಶೂಟ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಲೈಟಿಗೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನಲ್ ಆ ಕಡೆನೇ ಹೋಗೋದನ್ನು ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಯು ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ಡ್ ಸನ್ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಸೂರ್ಯ ಹೇಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೋ ಆ ರೀತಿ ಸನ್ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಆ ರೀತಿಯೇ ಬೆಂಡಾಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇದು ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟಿಮ್ಯುಲಸ್. ಸನ್ಫ್ಲವರ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ಲಿ, ಅಂದರೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನು ಕ್ವಿಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಸನ್ಫ್ಲವರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಫೋಟೋಟ್ರೋಪಿಸಮ್ ಅಂತ ಇದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕ್ಲೇಮ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕ್ವೈಟ್ ಸ್ಲೋ. ಇಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಸ್ಲೋ. ವೆರಸ್ ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸನ್ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ not as slow as this, but not even as quick as what we say in Mimosa pudica. Touch me not plantally, the response is very much immediate, the response is very much quick, but it is not related to growth. These things are something related to growth. They are very much directional, and it seems as if in the process of growth it seems as if they are making movements. So even in human beings, even in animals, growth is very much directional. Our arms, our legs, they have a particular direction. Our fingers grow in a particular direction. They don't grow haphazardly. So this directional growth is seen in plants, animals, human beings as well. So far we have learnt so many things about control and coordination in plants, and before this we also learnt about the nervous system. So far we have learnt about the nervous system in animals, especially with much focus on human beings ಅಲ್ಲಿ how this nervous system is, how this brain works, what is the complicated design of the brain, all these things we have learned. So nervous system ಯಾಕೆ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟು, nervous system, what is the significance of nervous system ಅಂತ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Immediately the very first answer, what do you get? What is the significance of nervous system, or why is nervous system important? The very first answer, immediate ಆಗಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಬರುವಂಥ ಥಾಟ್ ಏನು, ನರ್ವಸ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ. ಸೊ ನರ್ವಸ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ controls and coordinates so many organs and organ systems of our body. It controls the movements of our muscles. The immediate thought ಏನು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಈ ಥಾಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ನಿಮಗೇನು ಜನ್ರೇಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಸೊ ಅದು ನೀವೇನು ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ, ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಏನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಹೊಳಿತಾ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ದಿ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಬ್ರೈನ್. ಸೊ ನರ್ವಸ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ವೆರಿ ಸಿಗ್ನಿಫಿಕೆಂಟ್. ನರ್ವಸ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ನ ಸಿಗ್ನಿಫಿಕೆನ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ಹೇಳೋದಾದರೆ ದ ರಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ವಾಲಂಟರಿ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ಇನ್ವಾಲಂಟರಿ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್, these are very very important, and this is the significance of nervous system, and especially the thinking, the reasoning, the memory, imaginations, all these things are these are the tasks performed by brain, that is the nervous system. More importantly, the reflex actions, with concern to reflex actions, they protect us from danger. They help us to encounter dangerous situation and fight against them. They help us, or they protect us from dangerous situation. So this is what is really important with respect to the significance of nervous system. So we'll understand, we have understood the significance, and we'll write the points one by one. So we'll write the significance of the nervous system. Hope this part is clear to you. Various types of tropism in plant. I hope you will write the points for the significance of nervous system. Write down the points. The very first point which you can write down is the nervous system controls and coordinates various activities of organs and organ systems. It helps us, or it protects us from dangerous situations. Another interesting thing is, with respect to nervous system are very much significant when a very fast and immediate response is needed. The very fast and very quick responses are needed. In this case, nervous system is really significant because nerve impulses travel very faster. You know the speed of a nerve impulse in human body? The speed varies from 0.5 meter per second to 120 meter per second. So this is the speed of nerve impulse. The speed of the fastest or the speed of nerve impulses in humans vary from 0.5 meter per second to 120 meter per second ಒಂದು ನರ್ವ್ ಇಂಪಲ್ಸು ಎಷ್ಟೆಷ್ಟು ಫಾಸ್ಟಾಗಿ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ಸೆಕೆಂಡಿಗೆ 0.5 ಇಂದ ಅಪ್ ಟು 120 ಮೀಟರ್ ಪರ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್, ಒಂದು ಸೆಕೆಂಡಿಗೆ 120 ಮೀಟರಷ್ಟು ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಫಾಸ್ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ದ ಸಿಗ್ನಿಫಿಕೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ನರ್ವಸ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂದರೆ ದ ಇಂಪಲ್ಸಸ್ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ ವೆರಿ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವೆರಿ ಕ್ವಿಕ್ಲಿ. ನರ್ವಸ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಇಸ್ ಸಿಗ್ನಿಫಿಕೆಂಟ್ ವೆನ್ ದ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಸ್ which we require when fast or quick responses are needed because electrical impulses travel very fastly. So let's understand the significance of nervous system. We have already understood. Let's take down the points. Significance of nervous system. The first point is nervous system. It is an excellent means for the quicker transmission or for the fast or immediate responses. Immediate responses to stimuli. Because here information travels in the form of nerve impulses and nerve impulses travel very quickly, is it not? Excellent means for the fast response because here nerve impulses they travel very quickly or electrical impulses travel very quickly. This is the reason nerve impulses are electrical impulses. So the next important point is it controls and coordinates various activities of different organs and organ systems. Different organs and organ systems in the body. The third important point is it helps us to protect ourselves from dangerous situations. So this is also the task of the endocrine system. Not only nervous system, even endocrine system does the same. Helps us to protect ourselves from dangerous situation. But we can also quote this point. It enables us to think. The nervous system enables us to think, reason, what else? Imaginations, memory, etc. This is the task of brain, the cerebrum. The next important point is it controls various reflex actions. The nervous system is the one which controls reflex actions. What else? It controls reflex actions, that is spinal cord is involved in this. Various voluntary and involuntary movements. Various voluntary and involuntary movements. Brain and spinal cord take part in this in controlling reflex actions, voluntary and involuntary activities. So this is the significance of nervous system. But have you ever thought, is there any disadvantage or limitation? Rather than disadvantage, you can claim it as a limitation of nervous system. Are there any limitations to nervous system? If you think, is there any limitation to nervous system? Yes, there are few limitations too. And because of those limitations, we have significance for the other kind of the pathway, that is the endocrine system. Before we shall shift on to the endocrine pathway, we'll understand the limitations of nervous system. So what are the limitations of nervous system? Nervous system, here, the action is, or the entire pathway of nervous system works only for the cells that are connected by the nervous system. The other cells do not take role in this, or the other cells do not get what is happening. The stimulus and the response is to be traveled to the cells that are connected by the nervous system only. So this is the first limitation. Not every cell gets the information, not every cell will understand what is happening, not every cell of the body will get the information. Only those cells, only those organs, only those organ systems that are connected by nervous system, or only few cells or particular cells will get the information. This is the first limitation. The second limitation is, this is very important. The second limitation is, when a particular stimulus is received and a particular response is sent, for the next stimuli to receive and for the next response to show, it takes some time. The nervous system cannot continually generate and transmit impulses. It cannot continuously, it cannot persistently generate signals, these nerve impulses. It cannot persistently generate and transmit signals. These are the two limitations of the nervous system. Let me write it down and explain it to you once again. So the next is limitations of nervous system. The limitations of nervous system, the very first limitation is, the nerve impulses or electrical impulses reach only those cells that are connected by the nervous system, that are connected by the nerve tissue. That is, not each and every part of the cell, each and every part of the organism, each and every cell will receive this. Second most important thing is, cells cannot, that is the nervous system, the cells related to nervous system, these cells cannot continually or continuously create or generate and transmit these electrical impulses. Imagine a situation, you touch a hot object and you touch a hot object with your fingers. Immediately you take away your hands. That's all is required. Is this clear to you? When you touch a hot object, immediately you take away your hands, you take away your fingers, you take away your hands. So that's all is required and that is done. Imagine a situation wherein a tiger is chasing you. A tiger is chasing you. So not only your hands must move, not only your legs must move, the whole body should move, is it not? You as a whole must move. So this is where endocrine system is important. In the second situation, the nervous tissue, of course, it helps in sending signals to these legs, so in making our legs to run quickly so that to escape from the dangerous tiger. But before that, so many things happen in our body. So wide range of activities or wide range of signaling is not possible in case of nervous system. This is what the first limitation is. A wide range of signaling, or it won't reach every cell of the body. In certain situations, the information is to be transferred to various parts of the body. Almost every cell has to receive some information. There are certain situations where the whole body, each and every cell, each and every organ of the body is to receive information, is to act. So such a thing is not possible with respect to nervous system. Nerve impulses reach only those cells that are connected by nervous tissue. That is, not every cell will receive this, not every cell, not every other organ, or not every cell of the body will receive information. Not every cell will take part in this. Only those cells that are connected by nerve tissue will do this. Okay? Stimulus is received and response is sent to only certain parts that are which are related, which are connected. So this is the first limitation. Why this is a limitation? Because in certain situations, each and every cell needs information. Many other different organs of the body have to coordinate, have to work together to encounter, to escape, or to protect oneself from the dangerous situations. Not just one part of the body has to work, but multiple organs have to work. So in such situations, not only nervous system, the other system is also important. Nervous system, of course, very, very important, but nervous system alone cannot perform task completely because of these limitations, because they reach only those cells that are connected by nerve tissue. Is this point clear to you? Next we'll move on to this. Cells, that is the cells of the nervous system, cannot continuously create and transmit electrical impulses. I'll give you a rough example. You touch a hot object unknowingly. Okay? So what this limitation says is, these cells cannot continually transmit. Once it is transmitted, it takes time for these cells to reprogram themselves, to reorganize themselves, to generate another signal. It takes time. It cannot continually or persistently or steadily, it cannot generate these signals. Once a signal is generated, once it is transmitted, for another signal to generate and transmit, it takes some time. The cells, the nervous system, the cells of the nervous system need to reorganize themselves. So for that it takes some time. It cannot continuously, persistently, with the same intensity, cannot send signals continually. This is a second limitation of nervous system. So with these two limitations, the another kind, the endocrine pathway comes into picture. So that seems to be equally important as the nervous system. Hope the limitations and the significance of nervous system is clear to you. So in the next session, we'll understand what the endocrine system is and its importance. Thank you.